Three, two, one.
You ready?
You're listening to the Real Pineapple Podcast Network. Good evening, everybody. Thank you so much for listening. We are the Real Pineapple. This is Hunter, and I'm here with Scott. Scott, how you doing?
I'm doing fantastic, Hunter. How you doing?
I'm doing all right, man. So I apologize in advance if I sound a little out of sorts. I've been nursing a migraine all day.
You know what, Hunter? I don't care what the haters say. I think you sound great.
Oh, thank you, man. I appreciate it. Before we jump into our review here, guys, we just want to let you know, thank you so much for the support. Go ahead and like us on Facebook at The Real Pineapple. You can follow us on SoundCloud, iTunes, and Google Play at The Real Pineapple. You can follow yours truly on the Twitter at JHunterRealPineapple. You can follow our comrade Colin on Twitter at Nearman the First. That's you. You can follow Colin on Twitter at The Real O'Neill. You can follow Scott on Twitter at
Newman the First. And specify, we are the Real Pineapple, REEL. I know that there's been a little confusion over that, but let's get it together, people. Like, we're reviewing movies, you know. This is not real talk. It's real talk.
It's always real talk.
It's always real talk with, like, movie reels.
So, well done. But, so here's the thing. We are talking about something that I have been dreading to fucking review.
We've been watching previews for this for a while.
Dude, we have been watching... So we're talking about Mamma Mia, Here We Go Again. And if you've been listening to this podcast for the last 4 months or so, they've been playing this fucking trailer before everything. They played it before Skyscraper, for fuck's sake. I was like, why? Like, why are you showing me a trailer for Mamma Mia, Here We Go Again? And I went in the theater, man. I tried to go in with an open mind. I'm not gonna lie to you, dude. I went into this just ready to rip it apart. And while this is not a good film, this is not, it's not good. It's not I Feel Pretty bad. It's not Life of the Party bad. There's just, it's dumb, but I wasn't as angry as I thought I would be, if that makes sense.
Yeah, totally. And I am slightly shocked and also happily surprised that you're coming at this angle. My expectations were also very low.
Yeah.
Also, there was a bit of a contingency in my viewing experience. Went opening night.
Did you really?
Yeah, went opening night with a friend who was a big fan of Mamma Mia.
Okay.
So, you know, there's kind of it can be really tricky when you go to a movie that you know you're probably not going to like with somebody who you know is probably going to really enjoy it. It's like, do I lie to this person and tell them that I did enjoy it and be a fraud? Or do I, like, have an awkward car ride home where I'm like, that was a shitty movie. Like, how can you enjoy that? I was, like, pleasantly surprised, and I'm very careful to say that with this movie, because what I came away with this was more of, like, it wasn't really for me than it was a bad movie. I think that this was directed at, a completely different demographic than something that I'm used to. Still holding it to the same standards, of course, but there were some redeemable, qualities to this. I think we're gonna, kind of dive into this a little bit, but there's some characters that I think are worthy to come back to and revisit, and then there's also a lot of holes in this thing. Hunter, did you see the first one?
So I did see the first one. Actually, so I was going to... It's on Netflix. I was going to rewatch it. And I'll be honest, man, I just could not bring myself to do it. I went, you know what? I'm good. I highly doubt there's a lot that's going to go into this. So here's the thing, because I can already hear people going, you don't like musicals. I love Wicked, love Hamilton, Book of Mormon is still, I think, one of the funniest fucking things I've ever seen. Great Showman that just came out. Loved the hell out of that. I cried multiple times during the Great Showman. And one of the first questions my friend asked me is this as good as the Great Showman? Fuck no. It's not even close to as good as the Great Showman. Let's just get that out of the way. But I will give them credit. There's some decent acting here. And again, I can't believe I'm saying this. So let's just kind of jump in here. So Donna played. Oh yeah, full spoilers.
Yeah, this is. Yeah, they being in a crowd of people who were like passionate fans of this like series of this movie of the first movie.
Yeah. When
they dropped the bomb, like, and they just slide it in there too. They slide it in there that Donna, played by Meryl Streep, is now dead. And
just from nowhere, by the way.
And they just slide it in, and everyone. I look over at my friend, and she has her hands over her mouth, like, what the fuck? And it's just like everyone was just kind of like taken aback. Like they just kind of slid that in, really like just like very tentatively in the beginning.
So let me tell you probably how the conversation went to studio. Hey Meryl, it'd be cool if you came back for Mamma Mia 2. Oh hey, I want $30 million. Oh, hey, we're going to kill you off screen because we don't want to pay you. I would not be surprised that's exactly how it went. Because Mamma Mia, the first one made a good amount of money.
Mm-hmm. And it was like very, I feel like it garnered quite a following.
Yeah, and so this is a musical of ABBA songs. And ABBA, of course, does that song Dancing Queen. And I'm going to be honest with you, I fucking hated that song when I was in middle school. I hate it even more now. God, that song sucks. So when inevitably they end up playing Dancing Queen, I wanted to be anywhere but in my theater. But Donna Dies, again, off screen. By the way, they never mentioned how she died. They just went, she died.
She's just not there, yeah.
Yeah, I kind of went, oh, all right, that's how we're doing this. Okay. So she is survived, of course, by the real-life anime character that is Amanda Seyfried, who plays her daughter, Sophie. Her eyes are big, man. She looks like an anime drawing. But and she's married to young Howard Stark, Dominic Cooper, who, of course, you know from Preacher. Preacher is great, by the way, if you're not watching that. And so they're having a...
They're not married. They're just together.
Yeah, they're just together, and he's in New York?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
Sorry, go ahead.
Because remember they say that he needs 6 weeks to learn the business at the hotel.
Yeah,
business?
well, he's like apparently he is with a business that they want him to stay on like permanently in New York, and she's on this island in Greece, and she's like, well, I want to stay here. He's like, well, I want to stay here. And I'm like, well, let's break up. And they just like break up. They literally just like break up, and like, well, okay, that's that. Meryl Streep's dead, and this girl just broke up with her boyfriend very quick, like 10 minutes into this movie.
Like she was looking for an excuse to break up with it.
Yeah, and the way that that was kind of weird. That the way that it kind of all wraps up at the end is that they're so like immediately. Forgiving of each other. Like, oh, you're here, so we're together forever now? Okay, cool, chill.
Yep, all's forgiven. Don't worry about it. So I'm going to tell you right now, the opening to this movie, dude, I was pissed off. The whole not hot for teacher, kissing the teacher. I think was the name of the song.
That was awkward. That was a very awkward number.
I was like, why do you open with it? And Lily James, by the way, is who plays young Donna. And, dude, I'm embarrassed for not knowing this. I should have known it quicker. I was looking at her the whole time. I was like, God, she is fucking gorgeous. Who is this? Dude, it's fucking, Deb from Baby Driver.
Yeah.
And I was like, how the fuck did I not put that together?
Yeah. She's actually a very good actress. She's another one of the quite a few in this that were, held their own acting wise.
Yeah, honestly, she was my favorite part, and she can actually sing. I will give her credit. So you know, you have to. The thing with this musical, you're just gonna have to accept some things or be very upset by them, like like I was, because this whole graduation where she just rips off her gown and has her clothes on underneath and starts sitting in her teacher's lap, and all of the people who are graduating are like, "Yeah, get them, girl!" and they all run off.
And then they just leave. Everyone just leaves.
Yeah, like you don't want these diplomas, cool, all right. He's kind of like, all right, that's how we're cool. All right, whatever.
It was, and honestly, that's kind of like the beginning. It kind of gives you a look into how these musical numbers are going to be, because I would say, you know, 50-75% of these musical numbers kind of felt awkward like that, like out of place almost, because you can really transition seamlessly from a scene of, you know, where they're not singing and dancing and there's something dramatic going on to something that, like, you lead into a song. And I felt like throughout this movie, they didn't really, like, lead in very well, or, like, the setting of it was strange that, like, everyone noticed. I don't know. It's like almost they couldn't decide how to go forward with these musical numbers. Did you feel that too?
They all felt just very odd. Like there's one musical sequence that Cher has Fernando at the end of the movie. Mm-hmm. I thought that was by far the best, like, song.
Really, I like the song, but I feel like, I would counter that. I feel like because Andy Garcia was just like standing there the whole time. Just,
he was
like,
taken by Cher. Okay,
but he was just like standing, like, kind of. They weren't really, like, moving towards each other. He was just kind of standing. She was, like, going down the stairs a little bit. And, man, like, can we talk about Cher for a second? That was kind of a letdown, I feel like, overall. Like, I think I was talking to my friend about this. That was supposed to be, like, a big deal. Like, oh, my gosh, Cher's in this. And I would say she did pretty well for, you know, singing-wise. But I don't know. It wasn't really that, like, star power that I think she was hoping that she would be. And that kind of came in late at the movie anyways. What I really liked about this movie, I kind of liked the young Donna storyline.
I'll give you that.
And like the younger characters. And then how those kind of... you're able to see... You basically follow along with young Donna as she discovers this, you know, paradise in Greece, and when she gets pregnant with Donna, and you kind of like are going through that with Amanda Seyfried's character Sophie.
Sorry, can I jump in real quick?
Yeah,
I'm sorry. That is something. So while I thought the story was good, something that kept driving me insane is that there was no reason to go for flashbacks. Like, a character didn't go, you know, I miss your mom, I remember when, da-da-da. It just goes into flashbacks because fuck you, basically. And just from a writing perspective, I went, fuck, that's lazy. Like, it would zoom in on the painting and, it's back to her being young. And I'm like, come on, guys. Like,
it's like they show that, like, the wavy lines on the screen.
Yeah.
They might as well do that.
I mean, they might as well have people going doodle doodle doodle. I'm like, guys, you gotta give me a little more than that. But, fucking A. But, so yeah, it's really just more about Donna being young and her story. Sophie and Manassi freaking back together with Sky. The best part about the movie, her three dads, who are played, of course, by...
I like how they're just, like, three dads. And they reference that frequently. It's like, yeah, this is my three dads.
Yeah, and they just... You know, it's like, oh, you go take a paternity test? No, it's fine. It's like, all right, cool. Like, so, Stellan Skarsgård, of course, who you know from, you know, the war movies recently. Colin Firth playing Harry. Isn't that his name in the Kingsman movies, too? Isn't it Harry?
No, the kid, I think, is Harry.
Is that it? Okay.
I think so.
And Pierce Brosnan playing Sam. Now, okay. So
Brosnan is he's aging well.
He is. So I gotta throw this out, and I know It is Harry. Ha! I was right.
You're wrong. The internet's wrong. Don't believe anything you hear.
No, and dude, that's what I was hoping for. I hope that he was playing Harry from Kingsman and he just shot everybody. The movie would have been like 30 minutes shorter. But
you know what? On a side note, I just saw The King's Speech again, and what a hell of a movie. Like,
he's a great actor.
He's an amazing actor.
He really is. So this is what I'll say. Pierce Brosnan, man, he's a great 007. I think he's a damn good actor. He is not a good singer. Because even the little song they gave him where he's singing like low key.
Even like when he's like dancing in the musical numbers, he's like kind of half-assing it and like, oh, this feels strange and weird and I don't feel like I should be here right now. He's almost like smiling in it like, oh, this is strange.
Yeah, I was sitting there like, okay, Pierce, like I know this isn't your bag, but come on, man, put a little effort in. You know, this isn't Die Another Day, but he wasn't.
Man, if this turned into a spy movie, like you're saying, man, I would. Like he just maybe, you know, like Meryl Streep is actually an undercover agent who like fake dies and then comes back later to murder Cher, who happens to be like a KGB agent. Like I would pay top dollar to see that. You know, just get Cher just get blasted.
I would watch that. So
no,
this is what I'll say.
Not like that, Hunter. Not like that.
Okay. But something I will say about the movie. So young Donna, there's a scene where she's in this like Mexican restaurant, or like this kind of like hole in the wall Mexican dive bar, and she sings a song after finding out that Pierce Brosnan's Sam, young Sam, who's played by Jeremy Irvine, who I thought was okay. I thought he had the accent down pretty well. I gotta give him that. Can I say, by the way, how young Donna? She's like, I can't believe you lied to me. I'm like, maybe you shouldn't have fucked someone you knew for less than a week. I don't know.
Yeah, and the way that they explain her meeting the three dads was like. It's like, damn, she's just like falling for everybody that comes. Like, she takes this guy's virginity, young Harry, young Harry's virginity. And then he meets young Bill. She meets young Bill. He made Bill
work for it.
Yes, for sure. No, she played hard to get. I'll give her that.
She did.
And I don't even think she hooked up with him in the boat.
No, she does the second time around, remember?
The second time, yes.
Yeah.
Oh, right. But then, like, she meets young Sam, you know, is very smitten with him. But it's like, this girl, like, is, like, guys are just, like, professing their love to her, like, immediately. And that's, I mean, if you're Amanda Seyfried, I guess that just happens, you know, when you're traveling across the world, people just want to profess their love to you, I guess. Yeah. So what? I mean, how did you feel about the character? Did you like that they introduced the younger versions of them, or did you prefer the older versions?
Here's the thing. I thought what I was kind of more upset about the movie with is that she, you know, she's out there, she's exploring, she's fooling around. To each their own. But then it's like she's not confident enough to keep doing it, so she walks it back. She's like, "Oh, I never do this. Like sometimes, but not." And I'm like, "Don't do that." Like she's either, you know, promiscuous and being out there, which again, to each their own, or she's not. But it felt like she kept defending it, and that was just jarring for me watching it. I went, "Make up your fucking mind." Like you know what I mean? I just kind of went, like, let her be her own person. Don't make her don't slut shame her, which is kind of what I felt like the movie did. To be totally honest, but
yeah, I think they also partially made fun of that though in a lighthearted way. I think when you're referencing that of her being like, I really don't do this. Like, okay, well maybe that one time. I thought that was like kind of entertaining, where she was like, no, I really don't do this. Oh wait, I just took this guy's virginity. Okay, recently I kind of was like this, but I'm not really like that. I thought that was more lighthearted.
See, but then I think the way the movie slut shames her is because then it ties right back into the whole, oh, I don't need to find out who my daughter's dad is. It's like, it could be one of the three of them. I don't know. I found that
and they didn't really go into depth on that, like, hey, by the way, I'm pregnant and it could be yours, you know, or yours. They didn't really kind of get into that. I haven't seen the first one, so maybe they did that then.
I think so. I can't remember for sure.
But honestly, I think one of my the thing about this movie is, as you go throughout, there are certain like little pockets of things that I enjoyed, including that little cantina with the band. I like the band and that guy. And then also Julie Walters, who plays Rosie, older Rosie, and then Christine Baranski, who plays older Tanya. I like their kind of, side humor and the way that they kind of tie together. Rosie specifically, her like eating constantly. I thought that was kind of cute. And then I think that they really got the young and old characters spot on, as far as matching them. I think they killed that part of it. But tell me some of your gripes then. I feel like we've been kind of talking about what we didn't really necessarily hate about this movie. Tell me your gripes.
There's several. So let me take a sip of my beer here real quick. Let's see.
Please do.
Okay, thank you. So, number one, Bill Skarsgård, Stellan Skarsgård. He plays his own twin brother, Bill, in this movie. And he just put on a fat suit. I went, what the fuck? Like, dude, I went, come on now. Really? It's such a Jack and Jill thing to do. Because he's basically getting an award for being... The movie even says like the best Swede. They don't really acknowledge what the fuck that means.
She was just like saying offhand like he's getting an award for something like being the best.
But I'm like, you can't tell me what he's getting an award for. Like they go.
It was definitely lazy. The way that they went about that was very lazy.
Because right before that, they say, "Oh yeah, Harry's off co-signing this deal to like become like." To merge his company with like some Japanese company or something like that, and then they're just like, "Oh yeah, Bill is going to just win an award for being the greatest Swede." It's like, "Oh, you tried on 50% of it, but whatever." The line Tanya, Tanya in present day, Christine Baranski says when she says "Be still, my bidding vagina," I went, "Oh boy, okay," because.
That is part of what I say is not my demographic. Because I feel like... how many people were in the theater with you?
Oh, way too many.
How many were women?
A lot.
Okay. So, I think they knew who they were going for with this. And... I think that's why we probably didn't like that part. I'm with you. I'm with you on that.
That's just a fucking lazy line. Because I say, "Be still, my throbbing cock." It's not like people like, great writing. Like, but you know what I mean.
No one would say that.
But you know what I mean, though. It's like, a woman said it's like the Sweet D It's Always Sunny episode. A woman said a vagina. That's
for real.
That's why it's funny. I fucking hate that line. And I thought the worst musical number was that Waterloo sequence. Oh my God in heaven! I almost dude which has a sword fight with baguettes between a young Harry who's played by Hugh Skinner and Lily James' young Donna. I went, oh, this is mind-numbingly dumb. I can't handle it right now. And all those waiters were like, oh, fuck our jobs, let's dance. It's like, okay, let's.
Okay, but you have to acknowledge there's a sense of a break from reality when it comes to the song numbers, right? Like, just because they're doing it in the song doesn't mean that they're necessarily doing it in like quote unquote real life. Like, if the teachers in the graduation were involved in that, like it's almost like it's like a dream where it happens without anybody around. But I feel like they weren't able to make that distinction with this. It's just like it happened in the restaurant, and everybody was there and noticing it, and it wasn't even like their own little sequence. Yeah, I agree. It was kind of cringeworthy, honestly.
All right, not done. All right, got more. Young Bill. There's a point where he says, "Oh," and this line just made me. I groaned in the theater when he said, "You have one of those smiles that makes the rest of the world smile too." I went, Jesus Christ, really? And And this girl behind me, she's like, it's sweet. I'm like, it's dumb. I was like, why is it? Like, how does that work? And the last thing I'll bitch about is the storm. There's a storm that goes ahead and destroys everything in present day because Sophie is basically finishing her mom's vision, opening up this like kind of like hotel, not like like hotel.
It's like a B&B.
There you go. Yeah. So she's fulfilling her mom's, something her mom wanted to do by opening this Airbnb. So the storm,
not an Airbnb.
Yeah. Oh, that's the Airbnb. Whatever. It doesn't fucking matter.
It might as well be.
It might as well be. So the storm that destroys nearly the island in present day. They flash back to the past, and it's just like little rain, no big deal. I went, okay, all right, we're just not. I'm just not gonna get consistency to use this shit. And the last thing I think I'll throw out is there's this Latina, I don't know, minority woman who's because I'm afraid I'll get it wrong. People like so
yeah, minority is way more PC. Huh?
Yeah, right. Thank you. I know I'm trying, but so that little hole in the wall place that she's been singing at when Sam, Pierce Brosnan's character, young version of the character, cheats on her. Find out he was engaged. I went, ooh, that's rough. So when she finds out, he's heartbroken inevitably, and she goes, well, I don't know where I'm going to stay. She goes, oh yeah, that place on the top of the hill, I happen to own it. I went, oh wow, coincidence much.
You know what? I'll one up you on that one. To beginning, so like she shows up on this island. Young Donna shows up on this island, doesn't know anyone. She doesn't. They don't even tell you what the island this is. Like they don't. It could just be some random island in the middle of the ocean, and happens upon this rundown barn type of structure house thing, and she's like, you know what? I think this is just mine now, and just like settles in. There's a horse there that she calms and is like, not like is its owner, and just like takes ownership of this entire house without asking anyone, and no one really seems to care at all. And it's like, oh well, this that's just what you kind of do. You go, you like follow your heart and wherever the wind blows, and you come upon a shack and you say, I'm gonna fix this up. This is mine now. And there's no repercussions at all. So it was just like, it's part of the whole fairy tale thing that can be frustrating when you're trying to mix reality with a fucking musical. And it was like very, and like you said, and then you get to a point where it's like, the owner of the bar also happens to own that place, yep. And I'm going to give it to you. And the reason I am is because you're such a great girl, and I know because you have a good heart, and I can tell. It's like, oh, well, that was just fantastic. How convenient! How convenient! Yeah, that whole sequence was a tad frustrating, I would say.
Yeah, the thing about this movie is I just kept thinking, in between rolling my eyes, ABBA is just not a good band, and ABBA just sucks, and everything from Dancing Queen to just every fucking song I went, I don't like any of this. I kind of wanted to stop. What kept me from losing my mind though, I thought Lily James was really good in this, and by the way, if you think you're going to get a lot of Meryl Streep, you're not. She's in this.
She's dead.
Yeah, Cher's in this movie more than Jeff Goldblum was in the last Jurassic World, which is a whole nother bitch fest. But yeah, I mean, I thought Cher's performance of Andy Garcia, we will disagree. I know they weren't doing, they didn't come out dancing.
It just felt awkward. It was just one of those moments, like a few moments throughout this movie, where it just like felt awkward and forced. And it's like, we need a Cher song. Let's throw her in there with Andy Garcia, who has no charisma whatsoever.
Oh, I disagree. I thought he was charming throughout the whole movie.
He's charming. Like, I like his character, but in that moment when they're singing, he just like seems awkward. In that, like, the guys singing in this movie, besides the younger guys, the older guys seemed very like clunky and almost useless.
This is what I will say, as far as probably my biggest up for this movie, besides Lily James. There is a scene at the very end where Sophie goes and baptizes their newborn with Sky, and Meryl Streep, and the the Jedi ghost of Meryl Streep shows up, and
they should have put like Yoda just like right next to it. Like,
yes, baptize you will, but yeah, but it was sweet to see Donna pop up and like sing to her, kind of with her as she's doing the baptize. They're going through the baptism. I went, that was kind of sweet. So there are a few moments I went, all right, like I'm not made of stone. There's a few points where I went, this is okay, it's fine. Getting to my final thoughts, and I fully acknowledge I might watch this again for our worst stuff and say this is a piece of shit. Go fuck yourself. But and I saw this with a theater that was pretty packed. Honestly, there's probably 90% full, I would say. And I saw this at 10:45. So I get this for me. I get that, but I really hate using that as an excuse. You should be able to make it something that at least I go, it's okay. And this is kind of where I land on this. It's fine. If someone said they liked this, I'd say you're dumb, but I wouldn't be mad at you. Like if you say, well, you know,
I'd belittle you, but you wouldn't be. You'd still be my friend.
Yeah, like not like a Transformers movie where I want to fucking kick people out of windows when they say they like any of them. So. I don't. C plus. I'll give it a C plus. That's fine.
That's pretty good.
That's the thing. I just didn't walk out of this upset. I'll be honest. They showed a trailer for the new Tyler Perry movie, and man, that got me way more pissed off than this did. I was just more irritated at points with this because, But yeah, C plus. Scott, your final thoughts and grades, sir.
Yeah, I'm getting a little bit tired of like the you're a young girl and it's time for you to travel the country and follow your heart, and it's just is very overplayed at this point. It's a very like gap year, like whimsical, very unrealistic kind of plot that really kind of gets me every time. So every time they were following Sophie around. Young Donna around as she was like, oh, what's this? Oh, what's this? Oh, who's this guy? Oh, I'm going to take a boat with this guy over here. It's like, it was like too much for, like, I couldn't follow that fantasy without like getting frustrated with it. So that bugged me. But throughout it, when they were kind of unveiling the older characters, I grew fond of them. Rosie, now present day Rosie and Tanya. I think they were nice side pieces. Andy Garcia had played a cool role outside of his singing part. I think they get this cameo, and I'm not sure if it's actually him. But the most interesting man, I believe. Dude,
I was so confused. I was like, what the fuck?
Yeah, and it's like very brief. And he doesn't even have any lines. I don't even remember him saying anything. But he really kind of fits in. Like, he kind of fits into these, like, attractive older men. I think, I'm glad that there wasn't this, like, internal strife between the three dads. Like, I feel like they could have played off of that and been like, oh, well, I'm showing more love than you, or they're like all friends. So I enjoyed that. I was kind of dreading that I'd have to deal with some conflict there. Cher was unimpressive to me. She has the shiniest face that I've ever seen on a woman of that age, and it just looks like plastic. It looks like someone took the face of a crash dummy and stretched it over.
Dude, Skywalker Ranch did a great job with the CG on Cher, man.
Yeah, so whoever Pixar, whoever green screened that face, good on you. Yeah. I don't know. I think there was like parts that were dramatized, that were over the top, including what I was kind of talking about earlier, including her Sophie's relationship with Sky, and then like not to be critical about the musical numbers, because I know that's kind of what it's all about, but I think that some of them were presented awkwardly. I don't feel like they transitioned very well. I heard a couple of gripes about the songs not being as relatable, or not a lot of people knew them. And so I don't think people got as much enjoyment out of that. I don't know. I just I think you really need to write on those musical numbers and draw the audience in that way, especially if that's if the movies are based off of ABBA songs, then you really have to pull through with that. I don't really feel like they did, but I was pleasantly surprised. Expectations were super low.
Yeah,
like very low, and I was like I said, I was dreading the drive home with my friend, because like I didn't want to be like, hey, like we might not be able to be friends anymore because that was the shittiest movie I've ever seen.
Like, this is some bullshit.
Yeah, this is some bullshit. Yeah, I'm right with you. I think a C+ is a good grade for this. And if somebody said that they enjoyed it, I wouldn't hold it against them or anything. I think that there are some redeemable qualities in this, but I'm not going back for seconds. Spoiler: it's not something I'm going to see again.
That is true, and I will say I'm very happy this finished number 2 this weekend behind the Equalizer. I was so happy when I read that. I was like, oh, thank God, because I thought this was going to by far beat out Equalizer, but nope, it lost to Equalizer. Denzel, so I'm stoked. But but yeah, that's the thing, dude. I'll never watch this again, like ever. So
it's a one and done deal for me. I can acknowledge it wasn't a bad movie, but it's definitely not good enough for me to want to see it again.
But I will give it credit for not just pissing me off like I thought it was going to.
It seemed like it tried, especially being a second movie, being a sequel. Like, this could have been like horrible. This would have been really bad.
Dude, those trailers were not selling me. I was like, oh man, I am gonna hate this shit. So hey, sometimes trailers are misleading, but. Guys, let us know what you thought in the comments below about Mamma Mia, Here We Go Again. I don't remember the first one, so if there's stuff we're missing that happened in the first one, please let us know.
You know what? Keep it to yourself.
Well, what Scott said. This weekend we'll have a review up for Mission Impossible Rogue Nation, which I'm kind of excited for. I mean, I hate giving money to Scientology, but, But it's got Superman with a mustache, so I will go see it. But, guys, thank you so much for listening. We'll talk to you soon.
Peace.